Greetings, one and all, and welcome to episode number 21. Good luck, lucky number 21 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. Your boy Stoney is back for the Super Bowl edition. The Super Bowl edition. Can you believe we made it all the way to the Super Bowl? I'd like to welcome all my fellow lowlife scumbags, hustlers, fienders, hoodlums, degenerates, all you guys. You're back because this is what it's all about. This is Super Sundays this weekend. Mad props go to the NFL for getting out the season, getting through the season, a crazy season, unlike anything we've ever seen before. All the woke people were talking about there's no way that the season should go on. All the Corona bros were shouting from the rooftop saying that absolutely not. People are going to die if they play football. Well, not only did nobody even get hospitalized, but fans are actually in the seats. I'd like to see more fans in the seats come Sunday for the Super Bowl, but that's not going to happen. That's all right. There's still going to be plenty there. Roughly 25,000 people, I believe, are going to be at the Super Bowl. And that's awesome. That's just great. Next year, we'll have packed houses. Hopefully by the summer or the fall, definitely we'll have packed houses again. But we're getting there. We're getting there. You just got to believe everything's going forward now. Super Bowl edition. What can we say? It's been a rough and tumble year for us, especially in the NFL. My picks haven't exactly been great. 70, 66, and 4 are my numbers for the NFL. 51.47%. Right around the break-even point. Not good. Not terrible, but certainly not good. So what are you going to do? You got to finish strong. You got to hit them hard and go big on the Super Bowl. Overall, before we get to our Super Bowl picks, overall, 228 wins, 170 losses, and 7 ties. That puts us at 57.29% on the season. Solid. Absolutely putting money in your pockets. Free picks, documented. Every single pick has been documented. It's right here. There's no lying to you. You can't go back. You can't change it. I don't edit anything. I don't give you any graphics. I kind of wish I could. Who knows? Maybe someday. But right now, we're flying by the seat of our pants. So, Super Bowl edition, let's get after it. Super Bowl 45. Super Bowl 55 is taking place Sunday. We all know what this means. We've all heard. We've had 2 weeks to marinate on it. It's Kansas City versus Tampa Bay. Don't give me this Mahomes versus Brady bullshit, because I don't want to hear it. That's not what it is. All right? Oh, it's the greatest quarterback matchup of all time. Even in a fantastic looking forward world, it's the third best quarterback matchup of all time. Maybe even the fourth. Right? I mean, just off the top of my head, Breeze versus Manning was a pretty damn, good matchup. Montana versus Marino was a pretty good matchup. Staubach versus Bradshaw was a pretty good matchup. There are plenty of them. I can go down that list, but we ain't even going to go there. But as far as Super Bowl halftime performances, respect. Prince. Still the greatest halftime show of all time. That is without doubt. And anybody that doubts it, you're just lying to yourself. This year we've got, I don't even know who's performing at Super Bowl at halftime. Yeah, not sure. Last year was Shakira and J-Lo. They did a great job. They did a very good job. But yeah, anyway, Super Bowl 55, Kansas City versus Tampa Bay. KC is there for the second straight year, trying to win it again. They beat the 49ers in last year's Super Bowl by coming from behind in the final 7 minutes and took charge of the game down the stretch when Patrick Mahomes started making plays, and the 49ers inexplicably couldn't get a first down to save their lives when they were sitting on a lead. So Kansas City has been the favorite all year. They didn't cover very many numbers this year. They struggled down the stretch as far as covering numbers, but 25-2 The last 27 games Patrick Mahomes has played, he's won 25 of them. Never been done before in the history of the NFL. Well, since the merger. It's never happened. So props to Andy Reid, the organization, and everything. They did a great job running through the playoffs. Buffalo last week was their kind of crowning achievement. They beat Cleveland in the division round, and Cleveland had them on the ropes after Mahomes had the concussion, and we all know how that turned out. Cleveland wasn't quite ready yet for the big time and the bright stars, the bright lights. Kansas City put it to them, and then last week Kansas City really took it to Buffalo, which 2 weeks ago really hammered them and surprised the hell out of me, because I had Buffalo, who many could argue had the best season as far as any AFC team goes, because they were blowing teams out down the stretch. But Kansas City did what Kansas City does, and they took care of business down the stretch. As far as Tampa Bay goes, you've got a totally different beast, right? They run the ball. They're hard-headed about it. They're going to run the ball. Even if it's not working, they're going to continue to run the ball, and they're going to take their shots downfield. Tom Brady, he's in his 10th Super Bowl. We all know how that story is. He's 6-3 in the big dance. Two Super Bowls. Well, one of them he stole. The second one was handed to him by, I don't want to say Russell Wilson, but, Marshawn, just give me the damn ball. Pete Carroll, yeah, still losing sleep over that one. But Brady's the man. Brady's the man at 43, right? He's playing well. He wasn't great in the AFC Championship game. He was in the first half, laser-like focus, dominated, and went up into Green Bay and took a 21-10 lead with that big touchdown pass right before the half. I don't want to say that essentially ended it, but Tampa Bay's not going to blow a big lead like that. Or it was 28-10 at halftime. And yeah, Brady threw 3 interceptions in the second half, which was so unlike him. But they still did it the right way. They ran the ball. They made the plays when they had to, and they got the W. And and this Sunday they will be the first home team to play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. Yes, the Rams back in '79 played in the Super Bowl, but it was in Pasadena. And the 49ers played in the Super Bowl in '85. But it was in Stanford Stadium. It was in Palo Alto. So while they were the host cities, they weren't playing at their home stadiums. This one's different. Tampa Bay has been at home all week. Kansas City's still not in Tampa Bay. They're flying into Tampa Bay tomorrow. They're kind of treating it like a home game, where they're just getting on a couple-hour flight from Kansas City down to Tampa, and they'll be ready to rock come Sunday. So the line opened at 3, and it's pretty, for the most part, it's held steady. Granted, it hasn't gone down to 2.5, but it has gone up to 3.5, then back to 3, then back to 3.5, then back to 3. It all depends on who your book is and what the number is that they're placing on it. And that half point, it makes all the difference in the world. Kansas City wins this game by a field goal. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, did I get the half point? Some people won't even remember. It's huge. It's absolutely huge, that half point. My book has the number right now at 3.56. 2 days ago, it might have been 3.5. It probably was. I don't know. I've been kind of paying attention to it back and forth throughout the week. But we're going to take Kansas City. I like the Chiefs, right? And here's the problem. Last 2 weeks ago, I did something I never do, and I bet on a team that I do not like, and that's the Green Bay Packers. Took the Pack, wanted them. Every way that I analyzed that NFC Championship game, Green Bay came out on top. Just didn't work for me, though. Had to take Green Bay, so I did, and I was angry about it because I found myself during the game actively rooting for Tampa Bay, even though I had money on Green Bay. Promised myself I wasn't going to do it again, and here we are, Super Sunday. I don't dislike Kansas City. No reason to. But I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. But I'm taking Kansas City. Because as much as I want Tom Brady to win his 7th and keep Mahomes and the Kansas City train back a little bit. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Kansas City's the best team. I think Kansas City goes out. They do their job. Andy Reid is an absolute genius. Bruce Arians is close. Bruce Arians is a great coach, a great play caller. Him and Brady have worked well together, and they're going to do wonderful things this Sunday. Can they win it? No. It's Kansas City's game. It's Kansas City's time. They're going to win back-to-back for the first time since Brady did it 16, 17 years ago. And that's just the way it is, whether you like it or not. They're going to scheme to find ways to get Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce open, no matter what Tampa Bay tries to do defensively. Kansas City's going to do everything in their power to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. And that's Kelce and that's Hill. Hill and Kelce in that order. You got to get the ball to Tyreek Hill. They're going to try to run the ball, but running the ball doesn't matter. Mahomes is going to throw the ball 40 times plus. Anyway, Kansas City to win, Kansas City to cover, Kansas City wins, period. As far as the total goes, it's stuck at 56, and it's been there for 2 weeks. Hasn't moved. So, again, this is the sharpest line of the season. It always is. The odds makers have been working on their craft and refining it every single week. And this is the sharpest number you're going to find, which is why it hasn't budged. It's exactly where they want it to be. I'm going to roll with the under. There is, they say 75% chance of thunder showers come Sunday. So, like I said, Tampa Bay likes to run. Kansas City will run the ball, not as much as Tampa Bay, but they will. And maybe the threat of rain, or depending on how hard it's raining, might force them to run a little bit more. Either way, final score, 31-26. Kansas City wins. That's KC and the under. There they are. There's your picks for Super Sunday. We'll see how I wind up on the season and the rest of the season, the next couple months until the first Monday in April is every Friday is going to be all about college basketball. So, but before we get to this week's college basketball picks, the Super Bowl ain't over yet. So we got some prop bets for you. Now, these are my prop bets. These are ones that I've bet. Usually, I'm not a big prop guy. I usually go big on the Super Bowl and not so big on the props, or no props at all. But this year kind of did a little bit differently because, like I just told you, even though I've got my money on Kansas City, and it's not a lot, I'm going to be rooting for Tampa Bay for some strange, odd reason. So I decided to go big on props this year. I got about 15 or 20 $10 to $15 bets on props, different odds and whatnot. But here are the ones that we have, okay? Or here's the ones that I have. I'm going to start with the first score. The first score of the game, I say it's going to be a Tampa Bay field goal. That's plus 425. That's a good number. That's actually a very good number. So plus 425 for a Tampa Bay field goal. You can bet Tampa Bay touchdown. You can bet a safety. You can bet Kansas City touchdown. You can bet Kansas City field goal, whatever. I say it's going to be a Tampa Bay field goal for the first score at plus 425. Tampa Bay to score at least 3 touchdowns. I think they will. And I think I'm getting fairly good odds. Yeah, it's minus 350, right? They're supposed to do it, but I think they're going to do it, right? The odds are much worse for Kansas City and 4 touchdowns. So I'd rather lay the 350 and get that back on Tampa Bay to score at least 3 touchdowns. Will there be an onside kick in the Super Bowl? I say yes, plus 175. It might be a surprise. You've got Andy Reid. You've got Bruce Arians. Both coaches like to roll the dice. Maybe one of them will be a surprise. Maybe someone will be trying to catch up late, and it's the traditional kind. But either way, I say yes, and I'll take the plus 175. What color will the Gatorade be that is dumped on either Bruce Arians or Andy Reid at the end of the Super Bowl. What color will it be? You can bet on the color. I got clear liquid. Yes. Orange is the favorite. Orange has won the majority of them. There's red, there's green, there's yellow, there's blue. I say clear. So if somebody's dumping water on BA or Andy Reid, Stoney's a winner. So I say clear liquid. And that's plus 600. That's a good number right there. I'll take 6-1 odds on it. As far as MVP bets, any idiot in the world can go out and bet on Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. Say, oh, I got it. I won a prop. I told you they were going to win the MVP. Well, quarterbacks always win the MVP. Quarterbacks have won, I want to say, 37 out of the 55 Super Bowls. They've won 37 times, something like some obscene number. Quarterbacks win all the time. So there's no value in either one of those guys. You want value? I'm going to give you, what do I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have four players right now, all on defense. Long shots. We'll start with Devin White for Tampa Bay. I got him at 25-1. Good number, solid number. $10, boom, $250, winner. But he's got to win the MVP. I've got Shaq Barrett, also from Tampa Bay, for the MVP. He's at 32-1. Very good number, right? I have his other pass rushing running mate, JPP, Jean-Pierre Paul, 30-1. All right, those are great numbers. Those guys get to Patrick Mahomes, knock him down a couple times, sack him a couple times, and they win the game, and Brady doesn't go off. Who knows, all right? Kansas City, I'm going to take a flyer on the Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu, 35-1. Why not? Tampa Bay's behind late. They got to throw a lot, maybe a couple picks, maybe a big hit. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, 35-1. Other props that I'm on, Mike Evans, will he score a touchdown? I say yes, plus 115. A little bit better than even odds, but I'll take him. Evans scores in the red zone. He's Brady's number one target. So when Tampa Bay gets in the red zone, expect Brady to be looking Evans' way. And I said yes at plus 115. More oddball ones. Commercials with dogs. How many commercials will there be that have a dog in them? The number's 4.5. Is it over or under? I'm saying under, and I'm taking plus 170. But those are good numbers right there. The favorites are at minus 220, 225, something like that. I'll take 170. So if there's four commercials with dogs in them, your boy's a winner. 5 makes me a loser, but 4, I'll take it. Why not? The first touchdown. Wait a minute. What am I doing here? No. Sorry. No, that's not even it. The Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem. I expect you all to stand and not kneel like that coward from the 49ers used to do. But anyway, I digress. During the national anthem, I have Eric Church singing the national anthem. I was going to say Nashville's own country music star, Eric Church, to come in at under 1 minute and 59 seconds. That's the number. I'm saying under. Last year, Gladys Knight came in at 149. This year, I'm saying Eric Church comes in at under 159. There's your under. So that's it. There's some prop bets for you to have fun, and we'll see how it turns out. We move on to college basketball. This is a college basketball Saturday. Some people out there cruise. Some people, some certain former Bureau of Prisons workers cruise, have seen your boy in action at a book the day before the Super Bowl, going nuts. There are 127 lined games tomorrow. If you're not all over as many of those as you can get on, then you don't know what you're doing. Tomorrow's the day to build your bankroll so you can fire on the Super Bowl. This is how it's done, Cruz. Saw me go 18-4 at the book the day before the Super Bowl. It happens. And then you take those winnings and you roll them over onto the Super Bowl. So it happens. Tomorrow, Saturday, day before the Super Bowl, is like, it's fantastic for me. I love it. Almost as much as conference championship week, which is only a month away. So anyway, let's get on to college basketball, and I'm just going to run through these. I'm not going to give you much time to think about them. I'm not going to give many descriptions. I'm just going to let you know. We're going to start in the Big East. Butler, actually, before we even get there, let's give you some numbers. Last week, not exactly our best, right? Wound up going 8-9. The last 3 weeks have been kind of a struggle, right? 2 weeks ago we did okay. Last week was certainly not our best, 8-9. That's just not going to get it done. We lost the Degenerate Special, where we were hitting it like we'd hit 4 out of 5, and we're starting to roll on the Degenerate Special until last week. Hawaii hit a shot at the buzzer to send it to overtime, then won the game in overtime to beat UC Irvine, the Anteaters, who we had laying 3. So anyway, it is what it is. It was what it was, and it's all over with now, so now we move on. We start in the Big East, Butler versus DePaul, Hinkle Fieldhouse, the famed Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Neither team's playing exactly well this year. Butler hasn't played well at all. DePaul's even worse. They got to go into Indy. Butler will be ready for them. Butler's 5.5-point chalk. We're going to lay that and watch the Bulldogs roll. Next up, Virginia Tech versus Miami. This is a ACC matchup. VTU is playing out of their minds right now. Miami, not so much. Take VTU, lay the 4.5 down in South Florida. SEC matchup, Alabama versus Missouri. This is a good matchup. 2 top 20 teams. They're both playing very well. They were 2 top 10 teams last week. We're going to take Missouri. They're at home. They're 1.5-point dogs at home. Bama's coming in. Bama's lost 2 out of their last 3 after rolling off 11 in a row, I believe it was, but they've now lost 2 out of 3. Mizzou is just cruising along. They've won 5 out of 6. They're doing their job, and they're 1.5-point dogs at home. We'll take that 1.5. The best kept secret for everybody not named Stony in the whole NCAA, the Belmont Bruins, Nashville's own. They're 5 minutes away from me, from where I live. Belmont has won 16 straight. They've covered 13 of those. They didn't cover last week. It actually took them down to the wire, and they had to come from behind to beat their rivals, Murray State, but they beat them. Didn't cover, but beat them. This time, they're on the road against SIU, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Not Carbondale, not the Salukis. This is Edwardsville. Belmont is absolutely cruising. They should be ranked. They're in that group just under top 25 that says others receiving votes. But at 19-1 and winners of 16 in a row, the Belmont Bruins should be ranked. They're 14.5-point chalk on the road in Edwardsville. I don't care. They're going to win this one by 25. Bruins roll and make this one look extremely easy. Then we move on to the ACC, Syracuse-Clemson. This is a great matchup, the orange versus the orange. Clemson has been red hot, and lately Syracuse got it going on again. They started rebounding. They started applying more pressure. That the famous zone defense from Jimmy Boeheim has it working right now. Syracuse plus 2.5 at Clemson. Will take the short dog and watch the orange win outright. Next up, West Virginia, Kansas. Battle of Big 12 perennial stars, perennial programs, perennial top of the Big 12 standing programs. 2 Hall of Fame coaches. Bill Self versus Bob Huggins. It doesn't get any better than this. It's in Morgantown. Kansas is struggling mightily. They've lost 3 in a row. They're not playing well. And they're not just losing games, but they're getting beat pretty bad. Now they're going to face the 92 feet of absolute just disruption that West Virginia brings, that Huggins is known for. And Mountaineers win and cover 2.5, short home favorite. Lay the 2.5, Mountaineers win. To the Big Ten. The best conference in the land right now, Wisconsin versus Illinois. Another great matchup every week. You've got multiple, every week, 3 to 4 times a week, you have a matchup in the Big Ten where there's 2 ranked teams. Sometimes you'll get 2 top 10 ranked teams. These teams are close. It's Wisconsin versus Illinois. They're both hovering right around there. We're going to take the 3.5 and the Badgers on the road in Illinois. Even though Illinois is playing better right now than Wisconsin, the thing is, in the Big Ten, everything that should happen doesn't happen. So we're going to roll with Wisconsin. Staying in the Big Ten, going back to the Big 12, Texas, Oklahoma State. This is another good matchup. 2 top 20 schools. Both schools playing very well. This one's in Stillwater. Oklahoma State's coming in hot. But Texas right now, they had their struggles while Shaka Smart was out with COVID. He came back. They struggled. They're getting it together now. They're short road favorites. We're going to lay them 3.5 point chalk. Longhorns win. Virginia versus Pitt in the ACC. Virginia's getting it together, right? They lost to Virginia Tech last week and cost us. They just inexplicably fell apart in the final 10 minutes. They had everything going well and playing well, and then Virginia Tech just outran them, which just doesn't happen. We had them the other night. They covered. Virginia's starting to get it back together, right? But they're 11.5 point favorites at home against a Pitt team that always seems to find a way to come in under the number. They're not a very good team. They're certainly not tournament bound. They're not going to be playing in any postseason tournaments, but they're going to cover tomorrow at 11.5. Big road dogs. Back to the Big Ten, Northwestern, Purdue. This is another good matchup. Purdue's ranked, Northwestern's not. They were on the cusp, but Northwestern's one of those schools that is getting beat by all those great teams at the top of the Big Ten. But a big number, Purdue's laying 7.5 points at Mackey up there in Indiana. Northwestern's going to come in. Northwestern's going to scare the bejesus out of Purdue. They might steal it. I don't think they're going to, but at least they're going to come in under the 7.5. Wildcats cover. Next up, back to the ACC for something that ESPN just drools over. Oh, it's Duke. Oh, it's UNC. You gotta love it, baby. It's the greatest rivalry in all of sports. Bullshit. No, it's not. It's not even the greatest rivalry in college basketball. It is what it is. Call it what you want. They're great programs. They're storied programs. Again, 2 Hall of Fame coaches, Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, right? You've had these great programs that are both shit right now. Neither one of them's playing well, right? They're both starting to get it together. Let's be fair. After miserable starts for both of them, but I want to know when the last time was Carolina and Duke played when neither of them was ranked. Where are my statisticians? All right, fienders, degenerates, get on it. Find that number. Leave it in the comment section about when the last time was North Carolina and Duke played when neither team was ranked. Carolina plus 3.5. We're going to take the heels here on the road. They're in Cameron Indoor. And Duke is Duke. They're on TV more than Leave It to Beaver reruns. And that'll be the case where everybody will be there and all the eyes and all the world will be on it. Carolina wins this game outright. But if you're going to give us 3.5, we'll take all of them. Pac-12 action, Colorado versus Arizona. This one's got the makings. Colorado's playing well. Arizona's not. Arizona's headed up into the Rockies, up there in Boulder, and Colorado's is starting to get things going. Arizona's not. Arizona put their postseason ban on themselves and Sean Miller, and they're just kind of floating through the air right now with no real purpose. But we'll take 5.5 on the road as Arizona covers 5.5 at Colorado. SEC, Tennessee, Kentucky, the border war. This one is huge. It's huge for both schools. Kentucky is not going to the tournament. Only way they go to the tournament now is if somehow they find a way to get into the SEC tournament and run the table. And since that's not going to happen with too many good schools ahead of them, like Tennessee, like Missouri, like Alabama, and Florida, all these good schools are way ahead of them, light years ahead of them. UK will miss the NCAA tournament for the first. There's another one you can find out, all my statisticians, and leave in the comment section. UK will miss the tournament for the first time in a very long time. Tomorrow, they're at home. They're at Rupp. They're ready. In comes Tennessee. The preseason favorite to win the SEC has struggled lately. Has absolutely struggled lately. They got beat a bad loss on Wednesday night at home, on the road to Ole Miss. That's a bad loss for Tennessee. That's the kind of loss that costs you a seeding spot come tournament time, where you would have been a 3 seed, now you're a 4 seed because you lost at Ole Miss. Tennessee goes on the road, they handle business, and they beat Kentucky, and we're going to lay the 3.5 to make sure that happens. Another big-time rivalry. This one's not a border war, this one's a city war. The Battle of LA, UCLA versus USC, number 1 and number 2 in the Pac-12. Who could have seen that coming? Well, UCLA was picked to finish up there. USC was picked to finish up near the top. But 1 and 2 in LA, USC versus UCLA. SC's at home. This one's in Watts. SC is 3.5-point favorites. They're playing very well. UCLA is just kind of humming along. They're winning games. They're not covering many numbers. They got beat by Stanford at the buzzer last week for their only Pac-12 loss. But they bounce back with a tough win. And this is what they do. We'll take 3.5. This is going to be another close game. UCLA may not win this one, but they'll come in under 4, and they'll cover that number. Bruins plus 3.5. Finally, the Degenerate Special, the last game of the week. We're going to head to the Mountain West. Fresno versus Utah State. These two schools just played yesterday. They played yesterday, and they're playing in the same spot, the Save Mart Center in Fresno. Fresno was beaten up pretty bad. They lost by 16. The Aggies came in, kicked them in the mouth. And anytime you look at a number like this now, with Utah State coming in for the second time in 3 nights, this time they're 11.5-point chalk. Everybody and their grandmother thinks Fresno's the right pick. Not me. I'm going to take Utah State to do it to them again. The Aggies are playing well. They know it's that time of year. This is what they do, and they go big. They definitely go big. So the Degenerate Special says take Utah State minus 11.5 at Fresno. That's it for the week. That's 16 NCAA plays. That's both sides of the Super Bowl 55. That's all kinds of prop plays. Shout out real quick to my homeboys, my 2 Italian Goomba, greaseball, Dago Wap Guinea brothers, Dominic and Salvatore. Sal,